That's why he's called Cliffhanger.
Glacier, I have a quick message coming into you.
Okay.
I know something.
I will give that
you
and
put that
read.
message directly into him.
I have a girlfriend, sir. Why did you ask me? I'm bad at that.
You think I'm better at that?
Yeah, Clarella.
Guys, we're talking names.
Hang on.
Just pick a damn Disney movie.
Just wait.
So funny. Okay.
We're gonna use that name generator.
Ooh, good call.
For... Huh. Okay, we're gonna do this just for the sake of...
Picking something?
Yes. Where is the button? Where is the button? Give me the button.
Button. Who's got the button?
Hello? Does this not work on mobile? Oh, there it is. Okay. I have no idea how to say this. Good luck.
I'll figure it out.
It's fine. Kid will figure it out. Also, Kid!
Jesus! What?
The swoopy is starting to come back a little bit.
It is. I got a haircut, and now I feel so
Very
bad.
Actually, I like this one better.
Okay.
This one is probably a little easier for you to say, too.
Yes, I can say that one. Okay.
Then we'll go with that one.
Okay, let's begin. So, last time we played, I'm getting a little bit of an echo.
That's probably for me. Give me a moment.
Okay.
If it's not her, it's me. These headphones are very leaky.
It's probably me.
Fair.
We'll see how these headphones work because they were giving me trouble a little bit and causing my music to play on and off and not cooperating properly.
They were giving you treble? Well, that's certainly of note.
You can just hop off a cliff for that.
Hey, we gotta have everything in full measure.
I really hope you fall flat.
Oh, come on, man. Give it a rest.
Okay. Before we hurt our fan base,
Fan base?
By the way,
You know what the sad part is? I think this is our fan base.
sorry,
can
what
I
was
still
that?
be heard?
Yes, you can.
Okay, well this earbud's dead, so.
Rip.
But is the echo gone?
Sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, mister, I went to Allstate twice.
I did. It was hard. Took a lot of work. Oh, too cool.
Yo, I went to Allstate once, and it was an accident.
An accident!
Accident.
My teacher was like, "Yo, you sing good." I was like, "That's nice," and she's like, "You're coming with us," and I was like, "Okay."
Fair.
Nice. Okay. So the last time we played, you all made the journey from Dover, the
Magic New York?
better known as Magic New York, to the Titan city of Rodovine. Along the way, you helped a white dragonborn named Azure, who offered to be your guide into the city. Rodovine is a city of great magic, but also white dragonborn in the city are reviled because of their association with a white dragon who used to be a tyrant over the city. When you got through the when you made it to a sort of a sanctuary for white dragonborn within the Titan, you discovered that the white dragon is still very much alive, yet is also piled under or buried under a pile of rubble. And when we left off, you had just entered a meeting of the minds among the Dragonborn, as they are debating what to do about their situation. Yeah. And let's see, Kyr'nes, you've just been approached by, where did I write their names down? Which one of these are names? Are any of these names?
Bye.
Aye.
Now I know I wrote their names down, but I don't see where I did that. Ugh.
Currently wishing I wrote names down.
Me too.
Do I have paper to take? I don't even have paper in here to take notes on anymore.
I'm disappointed in all of you.
That darn
Wait,
technology.
me, I've never taken notes.
I found them. You were just approached by the Dragonborn Lima, who is a leader of one of the factions of Dragonborn down here. And she says, Kyr'nes, is that really you?
Yep. Noticeably less dead than you'd expect me to be.
Certainly. And she turns back and looks at the group, and they're in stunned silence. And she says, why are you here? This is not a safe place for us.
About that, I've heard tell, sort of it not being a safe place for you all, but I needed to check in on you.
I see.
I've been, I've kind of been sent as an emissary, is a good way of putting it.
I'm sorry. As an emissary of who? Who do you represent?
Roche?
And there's a kind of a general uproar, as the Dragonborn all seem to be really familiar with Faroche.
Is this a good uproar? A bad uproar?
Not a good uproar. And Jaren, the leader of the other faction, of the White Dragonborn. Well, not so much factions as schools of thought, right? Like how they're going to deal with their situation. Jaren is let's use our powers and our advantages, and take back what belongs to us. And Lima is in sort of the school of how did I describe it last time? Does anyone remember?
Basically, it's peace and war up in this bitch.
Yeah,
basically.
To put it bluntly.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, so Lima doesn't really have a good solution, but she knows that solution is the wrong one, in her opinion. But Jaren steps forward, and he says, this could be our opportunity. If we could... What does Faroche want?
Well, she wants us to communicate. Unsurprisingly, given, what she is, but she wants the dragons, and by extension the Dragonborn, to communicate, and she figured since, well, I'm a white Dragonborn raised by a bronze dragon, I would be a good fit to start things, start the ball rolling, so to speak.
But will she help us?
That I don't know.
And he he kind of spits and turns to the crowd, and he says, "Do you see? If we do not help ourselves, then no one else will."
I didn't
know,
say
White
that.
Dragonborn, y'all got 0 chill.
Zing!
Someone in the crowd actually shouts "Zing!"
Yes.
I'm just taking off giant pots as like I'm just rambling on about y'all need some Jesus.
Fantasy Jesus.
Yeah, Lima says, "We've had this discussion 1,000 times, and frankly, if you were capable, Jaren, of doing what you say you are, you would have already done it, and you're not. So let's take a step back. Kyr'nes, please join us. Tell us where you've been. Tell us of your life." And they make a place for you, sort of in the middle of the room.
I definitely, go up, I kind of like sit down, and Kyr'nes is a little like nervous. He's like, not used to being the center of attention.
Yeah.
But then he kind of looks around the room and starts in on his spiel. Now, I want you guys to keep an open mind here. This, especially the early parts, might not sound the best, but I assure you, Farosh had the best of intentions. So as you all know, I kind of, I don't remember it exactly very clearly, but for one reason or another, I found myself apart from this clutch, and, one of my older brothers, I suppose older adoptive brother now, he found me on the side of the road, a bronze dragonborn, obviously, and taking pity on me, he took me into their clan, and Farosh raised me. Farosh and her children, obviously. Oh my gosh, you guys should definitely meet my little sister after this all blows over. Lovely girl. Anyway, I digress. And after a while, I finally came to the realization, hey, I'm different. Let's talk about that. And essentially, one thing led to another. Farosh stumbled upon this idea that perhaps, and she'd heard of your plight, of course. It's, spoken of in many halls, but, and in her own way, she wanted to help, and she thought that perhaps if we were a bit more of a united front than we have been in the past, that would help things. And as I've said, given my unique situation, I'm well suited to be an emissary between our two families. I've been on this journey for many years, and I haven't had much success until now. And when I met my friends, just things finally brought me here. I never really thought to look in Rodavine. I thought you all had dispersed, so to speak, chosen somewhere else new.
Lima says, "Kyr'nes, perhaps I can fill you in." She calls 2 other Dragonborn forward, and they begin to cast minor illusions, and they make sort of this like cave painting-esque scene, right? To sort of illustrate her story. And she says, "We used to be a warlike people. We fought with the great dragon Eradzian, there we go, in the sky above our heads. We walked the path of frost and steel. When you were very young, one of our groups was out on a raid. They were making camp for the evening when they were attacked by a group of some kind of beast folk. Yeah, they were attacked by hobgoblins. Hobgoblins. Is a good one.
There we go.
They were attacked by a
You
group
got
of-
there.
We got there in the end. They left you crying in your crib in the camp to go and defend. And when they returned, all they saw was a group of the hobgoblins retreating into the distance, and your crib was empty. They chased them for 3 days. As far as they could, they left their equipment behind. They dropped everything and ran after you.
Oh.
Eventually, when they found the hobgoblins again, they were dead. And you were gone. We had assumed 1,000 horrible things had happened to you. Emerus, the woman in charge of you and of several other of the young. What is that sound?
That's
Sorry,
watering
my-
cacti sounds.
I'm in
Like
the middle of a very
serious
story.
emotional lore. Cactus sounds.
Cactus sound.
I was like barely hearing. I'm like, is my audio equipment hacking up?
The important part is now we know what cactus sound like.
There we go. Okay. Emerus, the one who was in charge of you, she led raid after raid on the hobgoblin strongholds, hoping to find you or to get revenge. But she died before she was ever successful. So now we come to find out that you've been with Farosh.
Understandably, that doesn't read well, does it?
No. But you're here now. And frankly, from the look of you, it is a better life than we could have provided. She sits, just kind of dejectedly. She says, well, you've seen us now. You can report back to Farosh and let her know that we're no longer a threat and we don't have much to offer, unfortunately.
I think just immediately Kyr'nes stands up and just gives his sister a hug. Just wordlessly, just embraces her.
Yeah. Oh, for anyone that's confused about the use of the word sister, Dragonborn here are a direct descendant of the dragon rather than like a diluted bloodline. So, there we go.
And he kind of just, while he's hugging her, just, sister dear, reporting back is not enough. Parosh gave me a task, but I'm giving myself one on top of that. I'm going to try to help you. Leaving you in dire straits like this, it wouldn't sit with me. I couldn't handle that. Sure, you're not the family I grew up with, but You're my family. And that's just whatever I can do. Whichever path that you all want to take, it seems like there's some differing opinion there, but whichever path you want to take, I'm going to try to aid you. I want to go back to Faroche with good news, not news of a people sundered.
Thank you, Kyr'nes. And Jaren stands up and he says, "So you will help us."
I'll do what I can.
Perfect. Tonight, we march into the chamber, and we unbury Mother. And we fight back.
Mm.
And Lima stands up and she says, "Jaren, this is unacceptable.
You had me in...
Chance." Sorry, what?
You had me in the first half there.
She says, "We have a chance to start anew. We don't need to be slaves, but we don't need to be some horrible overlords, some tyrants." And Jaren says back, he says, "Those tieflings up there, they had the same choice. And look what they chose. Our brothers and sisters in shackles, working on their road, working on their buildings, carrying loads until their backs break. I will not take that path."
An eye for an eye and we all end up blind. Perhaps you all don't know that here.
What would you do?
I must admit, though I understand little of the situation, brother dear, I think fighting won't get us far. It's what got us in this situation in the first place. We need to handle this a bit more elegantly. Whether that means attempting some sort of political move, or just moving outright, finding a different place to be. Fighting isn't going to get us anything, except probably dead.
Lima turns to you and she says, "Well, regardless, if we move, we will have to figure out what to do with Mother."
She's certainly in a state, from what I've seen. It's going to be difficult. Yes. That roar... I'm not the most sneaky person. Bit of a klutz, honestly.
Several people turn and look at Azel with narrowed eyes.
He didn't mean anything by it. If things would have went as intended, there wouldn't have even been a problem. It was my request. To go along, anyway.
Very well. I am wanted on the surface, as is Jaren. If we try to make political moves, we won't be able to assist you. You'll be on your own for any discussions, unless you can convince them to can lay down their arms and come to a meeting or something of that nature. There's also the matter of Mother. We'll have to remove her from the rubble somehow, I suppose.
I do like the sound of trying to make a peaceful, managed political movement. That seems like it would be the best choice given the previous difficulties this city has had with us. If we make it clear that we're willing to let them live their own lives, unburdened by our tyrant past, perhaps they'll handle it well. Don't you think, Zogle?
soup.
Soup. So helpful, Zogle. Thank you.
No, soup. It's what we used to do during warring forest times. We'd make food, large community pots of food, and people would stop fighting for like 5 seconds, and everyone could talk. Soup. I don't know why I thought of it now. Usually I'm all about my dad's side. War, famine, destruction, blah, blah, blah. But soup. I could use some help with the pots out here, and I think that we can start soup. Have a discussion over a warm or cold meal, depending on your... You know what? Let's not talk about that part. Let's just get the food made. And then I think that these conversations can be better generated.
Lima and Jaren make eye contact with each other, and after a second, Jaren goes, I will give you a day to achieve something, some mark of success. And if that doesn't work, then I'll have to take matters into my own hands. You understand?
If that's the way you feel, brother, that's a tight time frame, but I'm optimistic we can achieve something. Bronze dragons and Dragonborn are very social people after all. I hope I've learned something.
Kyr'nes, I'm gonna need 8 hours of your 24 in that case.
That could be a problem. Perhaps we can do some other preparations while you do that.
That would be real good, but I need help moving these pots so that I can feed your village.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pots! Guys!
Yeah, several Dragonborns hop up. Yeah.
I open the pot, and I'm like, yeah. Or I open the handy haversack, and I'm like, we have all these pots. Zogle had a plan. Zogle.
Yay, lots of seeds, lots of help. Let's move, thanks.
Eloquent as always.
Fuck you!
Maybe later.
So the Dragonborn gather up what pots they have. Lima kind of starts coordinating them bringing pots to you. What exactly is your plan here, Zogle?
We're going to put as many seeds and plants and like different foods in as many of them as possible, since I figure it's not very fertile down here for the most part. And so we're just going to make a giant inside garden. And then I figure between ice magic and plant growth, which works on up to a mile worth of things, we can make a real lush garden.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. What? Oh, that made me choke on my Razz. I hate. Okay, cool. What are the rest of you doing while Zogle is? Because you need to cast this spell for 8 hours, right?
Yep, I need to focus on it for 8 freaking hours.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so Zogle's kind of out of commission for the moment.
I think while Zogle's doing that, I try and get an idea of the, landscape. What are we going into in trying to convince these people to have a parlay with us? We know that
Is giving us.
You go.
Since he's giving us 8 hours, I'm taking Mr. Angry Man and forcing him to assist with everything to see what community means instead of, barking orders and being a dick.
Sure, yeah. And actually, Jaren is a pretty hard worker. After you eventually
despite him being a dick.
Despite him being a dick, once you eventually wrangle him into helping, he he's got a strong back and he moves quickly and gets things done. So.
We're trying to even like really butter it by like going up to little kids and being like, and look, if you put your hands within the dirt and look at all of these flowers starting to sprout, and look how wonderful us working together actually means and what it can do.
Yeah.
Look at all the non-violence.
Very Sesame Street.
And interestingly, there don't really seem to be a lot of there don't really seem to be any little kids. Let's see. The youngest.
Yeah, considering how long has the mom been like sitting down there, like
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to be clear, like Dragonborn can have more Dragonborn, but I mean it hasn't been exactly ideal, like an ideal place for them to bring children into. So there may be like, how old is Kyr'nes?
How old is Kyr'nes? That's a good question.
Shit,
Time
you
is
know how
hard.
old Kyr'nes is?
Listen, time is my least favorite element. I don't know. I mean, I'd say he was like out wandering after his initial command from Farosh for like 5 years, and he probably spoke with Farosh about the journey he was going to go on around, let's say 2021, so he's
Okay.
26, 27.
Okay, so yeah, so probably the youngest is about 10 years old.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's still a good age to, show garden to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Aw.
Um,
That's like telling a 5th grader, be like, hey, look at all this nature you can do. It's like, wow! Nature!
when I leave, none of this will be possible anymore. Cool.
Sure it will.
So Azure and Endr, what are you two up to?
Like, see, the thing is Endr is like, I feel like is having kind of like a moment of like, not like indecisiveness almost, because she wants to help with all the planting and like all this other stuff, but she also, because she's kind of good at like talking to like more of like the common folk, and like she's good like just talking to like general, like not because she's charisma at all, but just because like she has like the ability to like talk to like normal people who live in a village and that kind of stuff. Like she's almost tempted to like see if she can help with like convincing, like to help like bring the two together. So she's kind of like at a road where she's like, somebody point me in the right direction. I don't know where I am.
And rally the people.
For sure.
All right, cool. Zogle, thank you.
Jesus, stupid. And just keep walking off.
And
And very quietly just was like,
yeah. And Azure, what are you up to?
I saw that.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like very tempted to do different things. I guess it wouldn't be a good time to be juggling knives, right?
no.
I mean, it wouldn't not be.
I guess I'm gonna help with like, I guess I would help with the speaking stuff. I guess that would make sense. Or like,
Okay. Helping
you-
helping Endr with like trying to mend bridges, or helping Kyr'nes trying to gather information on the political situation.
oh, Kyr'nes.
Cool. Cool. So we'll do that first. So Kyr'nes, who do you go to? Well, the two of you, I guess. Who do you go to?
I feel like we go to talk to Lima at first because she seems to, be the head of that sort of movement. So she knows, if not what to know, then who to talk to.
Okay. Yeah. So Lima, you eventually kind of like pull her aside, and she says, "So if you really want to go that route, it will be very difficult to get an audience with the council. They're made of a powerful spellcaster from each sort of type, sort of source of magic. There is a very powerful sorcerer at the head of the council. His name is
Taco.
Taco.
And your name, of course,
Is
Taco.
Psych!
Don't tell you that's my say my name. I can't magic missile.
She says his name is Victus.
Oh, that's not Disney.
His
If
name
I-
is Victus.
If I fail a charisma roll, Kyr'nes is going to say Vicky instead of Victus at some point. If I fail a roll,
Nice.
it's preordained. Vicky, please, hear me out.
Vicky, we're good friends, right? We've known each other. You just got here. We hate you.
There's also a man of the land named Borellian. There we go. That's a good one.
That is good.
I love pasta too.
Are there only 3 types of magic in D&D? There's nature, arcane.
So it's supposed to be that there's really only 2. It's supposed to be divine and arcane, but some people take nature away from divine, and
I like that better.
so there you go.
Yeah,
There's 3
there's
types.
kind of in my brain. This isn't real D&D lore, but like it's kind of nature, bloodline, i.e., sorcerer, and that sort of thing, like sorcerer, warlock kind of thing, and then like true arcane, which is like wizard and cleric and stuff.
Yeah.
3's a good number anyway.
Yeah. The power of 3. And then there's also a cleric named Asifia.
Is it known who they follow?
Asifia actually follows a god of leaders and kings named.
Ra?
This is hard. This is 4 names in like 2 minutes.
I mean, Ra is a god of
Goliath.
leader and kings. That's highly bless me.
He's
could be a
named
follower.
Ganondorf.
Dragmire, actually.
We're just like trying to throw him into these poor situations. We get to make fun of him later.
I learned a little like lump of Zelda lore the other day. Ganondorf's surname is Dragmire.
Sounds like a drag queen name.
I mean, have you seen Ganondorf? He's a big buff boy, but like,
Ganondorf walks into the workroom. My name is Ganondorf Dragmire. I am here from Hyrule, and I am gonna slay the one day.
Oh my
I could totally see him doing that
God.
like split thing that all of the queens can do that I can't do.
Yes, a death drop.
Come on,
Yes.
season 12.
I mean, he is a Gerudo. Let's be real, they're flexible folks.
There you go. Yeah, she follows. We'll say she follows Ra. That's close enough.
Ooh.
The sun?
The leader of the the king of gods and the god of kings,
Praise the sun, girl. Praise the sun.
Praise the sun. Of the three of them, Asifia would likely be the easiest to get a hold of. That's the cleric, for anyone who wasn't paying attention. She, as a cleric, her
Zone of
Is that the type
influence?
of stream that we're going into now? Or
Just
Look, we're on the wrong platform. We need to go to Patreon for this.
Oh, I have made so many visual goofs that have not gotten across because of my light tonight.
Her domain frequently involves her interacting with the people. If I were going to try to talk to one of them, that's who I would talk to.
Makes sense. I suppose if we're going to make inroads, that's where we'll be heading.
Indeed. Due to the nature of the enchantment, the blindness and the slowness, they have a stronghold on the head of the Titan, called the Crown. You should head there if you wish to speak to them.
Noted.
Is there anything else that I can help you with?
I'm not sure what else.
How powerful are they?
They were put in place to guard over the enchantments of Rodovine. If those enchantments were ever to break, we would have a creature capable of smashing cities. So they
Beeping?
They are decent.
they're fairly powerful.
So on a scale of 1 to 20,
Okay, there's
They're
a
a-
Safeway home delivery truck in our college parking lot currently.
Beautiful.
I have some questions. Was someone that lazy that they had to directly
Ain't the Safeway like really close to your campus too?
I mean, if you drive, it's like 7 minutes, but if you don't drive, it's like a 45-minute walk.
Fair.
I know from experience because I don't drive.
I think I was on a call with you one time when you walked that. Anyway.
She says, well, if they didn't have to expend so much power casting spells on the Titan, I would estimate that they're a 10 out of 20.
Okay.
However,
it'll
However, they do have to expend quite a bit of energy doing that, so they have about a 7 to give.
Okay.
So as I'm walking past with the giant pot being like, hey, when's a good time for that to happen? Okay, bye.
Well, all day they'd be about a 7.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Of course,
Thank you, sister dear. And he gives her another hug.
it's good to have you home, brother.
And I wink at her, and then I remember
Stop.
she's a lizard, so I turn around in disgust.
Racism.
Kyr'nes, this goes right over Kyr'nes' head. He completely misses A, Azure hitting on his sister, B, Azure reconsidering hitting on his sister.
Beautiful.
You know, for White
Okay.
Dragonborn, there sure is not a lot of cold shoulders happening around here.
So,
Rock fall, Zogle dies.
yeah, Rodovine. The spell when Rodovine breaks, he tears his stomach open and grabs Zogle out and just smashes him into the ground.
The end.
There.
Yeah.
That's just cold.
Yeah.
There's no way we can let these continue.
All right.
I got ice puns all night, so we should stop.
Don't. You think he jokes?
I'm not joking.
He's serious. You can keep going for like an hour straight. I've experienced it. It's terrifying. It's awful. Don't invoke his wrath, or he will.
The
Do
really
not.
ironic part is that Kid is always punning with the ice puns because he's a Blizzard kid.
Ooh! And then everyone died. The end.
Died. The dragon's free. Endr.
There wasn't even rocks in this case. Everyone just died.
There was just a sudden blizzard, and everyone died from their horrible snow puns.
Yeah, but the great news is that would be a pun in itself, so I almost consider it worth it.
They're really drifting up over here. Anyway, story.
So, Endr,
Yeah.
how are you going about trying to mend ties here?
Well, I feel like I should probably like converge with Kyr'nes and Azure first, just to like see like what information on like up there that they have. Like, because I personally think that Endr having the knowledge that the best one to get in touch with isn't herself another cleric. What domain is the tiefling lady in?
Ra would probably be a light domain cleric.
Most
Off the top of my head.
likely.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that's something that is just like usual knowledge.
You might have
People
to-
know that it's a cleric. They don't know what kind of cleric.
You might have to
Fair.
like make some kind of check to know who Ra is, what he does, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Make a religion check.
Ha! I have a +7 to that now.
Do you really? Holy shit.
You do get it.
Boom!
You did take a
wait.
bonus in religion, didn't you?
I did, yeah, I do have a +7 in that now, so get that done! Anyway,
Rolls a 2.
Yeah, rolls a 2. Gets a 9. Oh. 12 +7. So 9.
19. No,
19. Hey.
Where? Am I crazy? There's a
There's a list
Where
of
is the list
domains
of
in the
gods?
player's handbook. There's a list of
players
gods in the end of the player's handbook, off the top of my head.
in the which one?
In the player's handbook, right at the end, it lists like, oh yeah, here's some Egyptian pantheon, here's a Greek pantheon, here's the traditional like Faerunian pantheon.
Because that's what I was looking for. Yeah, Ra, God of Kings, King of Gods. So he thinks.
Not if Horus has anything
So
to
he
say
thinks.
about it.
Oh, here we go. Gods of the multiverse. Non-human, Everon. Give me some. God, I would love to do something with the Celtic Pantheon someday.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Super fun. Ra. Shit.
Rah, rah, ah.
Ra Ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Can someone
Ra's not
drop that
listed
in the
under
chat?
Egyptian deities.
He's not?
That's real awkward because what?
Hang on. Let's see what the Google has to say.
Balloon.
Ra.
It's a cleric of the sun because praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
Ra Egypt.
How the hell?
Well, Smite.
Ra,
told
Wikipedia.
me that he was an Egyptian god, and Smite is never wrong. So
The ancient Egyptian deity, the sun, primarily identified with the noon sun. He has different aspects based on, different parts of the day, because he's just the sun god.
Oh, so he's a bipolar god.
Mm.
So we're gonna say light
Okay.
because that should be a thing.
Because
Well,
goddamn it,
it's
praise
not,
the
it's your
sun.
universe. You make the rules.
I make the rules.
You make the rules, kid. It's your universe.
I make the rules now.
I am the captain now. Yeah! Same hat.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. there's that.
Okay. Where's my notebook where I write D&D things for later?
That's a good question.
Yeah, where's your notebook where you write things for me because I don't write notes?
I only write things that relate for things that I need to know as Endr. I don't write down anything else.
Yeah, I know. That's why I take knit little pieces from everybody. I only write down my gold and my equipment.
Oh, there goes my stapler. That's fine.
Achoo.
There it go.
Cool.
Into the depth. Never to return.
So now you know this.
Whatever. This is the most recent page. Oh, well, that's a half a page that I tore off, but what's this lady's name again? So I don't have to ask in like 5 hours.
Her name is Asephia, Asephia.
Okay.
And she's a tiefling.
Yeah. I remember that part. I just didn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got it. I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like what you would want to do is go back onto, like, the surface
Mhm.
and, like, try and, like, find this lady. But also, considering that we almost fell in stomach acid, she's like, I don't think I want to go by myself. So I feel like she maybe, like, starts with the Dragonborn, like, down where they are. Probably starting with the younger Dragonborn, because, like, the younger, like, young children are more influence, like, more like, you're able to influence them younger children more
Mhm.
than
Old
like
dogs don't learn new tricks.
than originally, like, we were tyrants once.
Yes,
Can you,
Papa
can you
England.
repeat that in that voice?
What?
Can you repeat that in that voice, please?
We were tyrants once.
Yeah, we know, Granddad. Go back to your oatmeal and gold coins, I guess, because you're Dragonborn.
Yeah, so I feel like she starts with, like, the younger kiddos, like, the ones that are, like, in, like, the 10, 11-year range, and then she, like, gradually kind of, like, works her way up.
Sure. Can I get either a charisma check, like a straight charisma check, or an investigation check, whichever you prefer?
If she's doing this while we're like farming and stuff, can I
Hmm.
help her in any way? Just because I'm
Uh,
already working with the kids.
sure.
With the key.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Cool. Advantage. Thank you. My investigation's +4, so I'm gonna do bad at charisma because my base charisma is Garbo. It's just it's a +1. So,
Cool.
investigation. Okay, yeah, I grabbed the D20. I thought I grabbed my D12 for a second. $19, so that was the first roll.
Wow.
Oh, flat 20. That's fine.
Cool. Yeah. So something interesting that you notice. There's sort of an age difference in the people who want to take war to the surface and the people who want to be peaceful. The older folk who remember what their clan used to be are more interested in like taking back the power that they used to have, and the younger folk are more interested in just having a better life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, does that change your plan at all? Are you still gonna start young and go to old, or are you still starting young and going old, or?
One of my ears fell off.
I see
Which out of
that.
context.
Whoa!
Concerning.
It's a leper!
Leper. We're in the gunsmith shop. Lighter. I know you can figure it out.
I feel like based on like what she's kind of found out, like, okay, so, well, it depends. Like, is the majority of the people down there on the older side, or is it younger?
Yeah. So I would say there's a majority of the older.
Okay. So I feel like then she would probably like realize it's like, okay, well, these younger folks don't really need like they're already kind of like with the idea that we should be, you know, helping, or like just trying to have a better life. So I feel like she would probably try and start like convincing them of like all of like the good the world could be, like if they just found like a like place to live, and that continuing ways of the past because it worked isn't always the best option.
Cool. Yeah, make a persuasion check.
My persuasion's +1 because my charisma's Garbo.
Perf.
I think I might have the second best persuasion, probably apart from Azure.
Yeah, I didn't take persuasion as a bonus. I took deception. And yet
so
I don't
I got
lie.
a 16.
16? Yeah, they're
Total.
buying into it. They like your message.
Ooh, good job, girl.
Nice.
As you're kind of talking to a group of them, a young girl says, "Well, what do we do with Mama?"
Oh God. I don't think Endr's the right person to talk about this. She just got here. I feel like she like yoinks like kids. She's like, here, talk to your older brother. And she goes to like help, like go convince other old folks.
Zogle just walking past. They're the change of the future. Y'all need some wisdom.
I think having been plopped down in front of his little sister, who's just asked this very loaded question, Kyr'nes thinks for a little bit, and he says, "Well, youngling, that's a hard question. Mom isn't feeling the best, and it's going to be difficult no matter what we choose to do. If we follow the path that, well, I think is best, that we find ourselves a different place to be, to not trouble with our history any longer, it's going to come down to moving Mother along with us. And in all honesty, that's going to be difficult, but I know that we can do that for her. We want the best for her, after all."
Yeah.
Give her a little pat on the head and wander off.
Okay. Cool. You've passed an hour of your time.
Oh,
Bitch.
I think now, knowing what we know about who to speak to, Kyr'nes kind of ropes Azure into it and says, "Alright, we gotta head to the surface. That's what's next."
Endr, I'm coming with.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
wait until we're a full group. Just saying.
Zogle's gonna be downstairs playing Cooking Mama. Zogle, make a cooking check.
I'm the mom now.
Wonderful. Superb.
You all hate everybody, and we're leaving.
You cook better than Mama.
Thank you. I couldn't remember any of the sound bites.
Oh God.
So-
Actually, if Zog, well, yeah, like Zoggle has the best persuasion, so maybe.
Hmm.
we should
But I
let
can
her-
Second
lie.
best.
I could probably lie.
I have.
Yeah, but you.
Owl, what's up?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have a pretty good persuasion.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure I have a second best. I'm more thinking in case shit gets real bad. I do have friends called animals that can help us.
But he's also kind of zoned in on this spell.
So
We need to do
maybe-
something with the next 7 hours.
Yeah, help.
Okay, I immediately go to help.
Okay. You know, we could stretch out talking to people. Maybe you could, get your outsider knowledge to them, and
Can
you
I
know.
play with some of the little kids?
Yes, you play with some little kids. Azure.
Walk past Endr. God damn it! I was using that.
So Azure.
Who said we can't have fun while we're helping?
After a couple of hours, you walk past. As you're going about whatever business you're going about, you walk past a figure who is slouched up against one of the buildings, like with head in their hands, and it's actually Oriana.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Who's still suffering from a horrible migraine.
Oh, poor thing.
Can I druidcraft weed?
I was hoping you'd go for the bark that aspirin's made out of, but okay.
Technically, yes, you could, but this is
Throwing in-
Azure, so
Throwing in a pot plant while I'm growing shit.
and she, like, hearing someone walk by, she kind of like squints,
No.
and she goes, Azure, would you come here a moment?
No. Just kidding.
You walk past her. And
She starts sobbing. She's in so much pain.
But I still say no when I do like, haha, I'm just joking. And like, your eyes are not pretty today.
Oh shit! Wow!
Okay.
On blast.
But I say it with a big smile, like, ah.
She says, "Oh, you're such a charmer." Can I just look at you for a bit? The green is a lot better to look at than this piercing white.
I mean, yeah.
How what's that from anyway?
What is what from?
So we covered this in like the second episode. Oriana can see magic.
Oh yeah,
Um,
true.
And she pointed out to Kyr'nes, you have a like a green glow about you,
Uh-huh.
because of the same reason that flesh golems and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I look at her straight in the eye, and I'm like, why should I trust you anyway?
Oh,
Okay, I guess that's a fair question. And she just kind of sighs defeatedly and puts her head back in her hands. She says, "I'm
can I go over to Oriana and hold on, I want to check a thing.
Knock her ass out.
I was. Hold on, I need to check it as my spells on my spell books now because I have them at my fingers now instead of having to do a Google every single time.
I think I can actually write something like that for PCs. I was looking into it. Anyway.
Hold on. I need to...
So like while she does that, I'm like, why do you answer me first? Then why do you have an headache, right?
I can see magic, and Rodovine. In Duver, there are some hot spots.
Huh?
You know, some places where they summon the demons for research, and there's certain overly magical areas, but Rodovine is unlike any of that. It's like his entire body is just made of stars, made of suns, even. They're so close, and it's so many.
Okay. Well, if I help you with your headache, would you help me in exchange?
Yes.
Okay. Let me give me a second. Because I said that without having a plan.
I have a thing for
I have to drink some water and consider my sexual experience with a ghoul.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know. Okay, I know what to do. Can I use Bestow Curse to make her blind?
I mean, yes.
I mean,
think that's the thing.
if she doesn't see, like, the problem is that she sees too much aura or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So if she doesn't see it, then she's gonna be fine.
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah, I was looking at my spells. I'm like, can I temporarily use blindness on her? Just to like make her sit in peace, or like put like my cloak over her head. Like...
Oh yeah. So I look at her and I have. If it doesn't work, I have a plan B. But hello.
Yeah,
Matt's having
Matt,
some
you're having an
trouble.
issue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we get XSplit broadcaster.
So I have two plans. Okay, so we'll try the first one. And I cast Bestow Curse on her, and I want to nullify the aura by making her go blind.
Okay, let me just look at what Bestow Curse does real fast. See how this works. Bestow Curse 5e, they know what I want. They know.
Oh, there goes Matt. Oh, there comes Matt.
There we go. My apologies.
There's a point where they say you may choose an alternative curse effect, but it should be no more powerful than those described above. The DM as final say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will allow this.
Okay.
For sure.
How long does it last?
I just closed the window. I don't know.
A whole minute.
A whole minute?
For an entire minute. That's
Wait,
it.
what is happening?
I didn't say it was permanent.
So they're trying to help Oriana, and they've decided the best way to do it is by temporarily blinding her.
I never said I was gonna like cure her thing, right? I didn't lie. So yeah, I cast that and I touch her shoulder and I'm like, there you go.
Okay, Matt, are you there?
I'm here, but I gotta refresh stream real quick. So can you take like a 2-second break?
Yeah, we'll hold off. I need to get some water, you guys. I'll be right back.
Fair.
Even better.
Okay.
Well, while we're at a short intermission here, I should plug. Even though the stream can't really see us, I'm going to plug it anyway. Razz has been working on, behind the scenes, a whole YouTube channel designed to show you our past adventures. If you don't know what's going on and you need to catch up, just head on over to Razz's Planetarium, where we are working on getting all the stream VODs. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Wow, I almost wish that my stream was going for that. Almost.
Almost. Speaking of your stream Discord, I know it's like not a thing you tinker with very often, but I'm pretty sure I sent you the link to invite that bot, which will be on intermittently. I might have to rebuild the jar so it doesn't conflict with my Discord bot. Which is...
So the bad news here is that none of my audio is going through, and I don't know why.
Well, that's a whole problem.
Well, someone wave frantically if that gets sorted out because I dropped one of my normal earrings and it needs to be found. Oh, never mind, I found it.
Beautiful. While we're plugging things, I just want to blither about the stuff I've been doing at work lately because it's really neato. I'm going to be a big nerd for the next 2 minutes. Fair warning. So, like, my job officially is like a contracted programmer, right? And while I'm between contracts, I'm a big nerd. While I'm between contracts, they have me on the bench, so to speak. So, like, I don't have a contract, so they told me, while you're on the bench, just keep programming. Learn things that you think will help you on a potential contract. And I went, alright, I'm going to learn how to use APIs I've never seen before. And I wrote a Discord bot. And I think it's pretty fancy. I could certainly add more bells and whistles, and I already have things that I want to add in the 2.0 version, which I'm going to get to eventually, but I got to finish my Twitch bot first, but I digress. The Discord bot, right now, you can, if you give it, like, a channel to look at when you start it up, you can say, alright, search that channel for any string. I usually wind up saying, like, paper cuts, because it's for my channel, and paper cuts is an audio-based medium anyway. So, like, it'll search for the top however many you want things from that search string. And it's super handy. And I'm really glad it worked.
How are we on stream?
I'm gonna try restarting my audio stuff one more time and see if that fixes it, but just no audio is coming through right now.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mentioned, like, at the beginning of stream, I'm working on a Twitch bot right now because as much as I like Nightbot, I want to make my own. And
That'd be nice.
most of what I'm going to do to learn this Twitch bot to do is just stuff that replaces what I use Nightbot for.
Fair.
Which is mostly like, hey, how do I do moderation again and promote things when I tell you to promote things?
Right.
I don't know, I'm going to try and make the Twitch bot really modular like I made the Discord bot really modular so other people can use it. It's not just something that I made that I like.
That would be rad as hell. That's
Yeah.
a pretty useful skill.
Yeah, the issue with making it modular is then it makes the code look really messy.
Fair.
Hopefully this
Okay.
time it doesn't cause
So
a version
maybe-
dependency.
My mixer doesn't say that it's collecting any information, so I could either try restarting the stream computer, or it might be going and I just don't know it.
I don't...
Strim, can you hear us? Strim.
Stream!
Strim.
Hey, Stream! Stream!
Strim.
Stream!
Strim.
Stream!
Hello,
Hello? Mr.
Strim?
Swim!
Strim.
Stream.
The answer is no, they can't.
Drat.
because I turned it on my phone and I can't hear shit. So I guess
I'd love to help you with your mixer, but I've no parsing of using that high-level
It's-
audio equipment yet.
Slobs is being a dork. That's basically all that's happening.
Hmm.
So we'll just restart the stream computer because most of the time that fixes things.
Fair.
I hate when this shit happens.
Me too.
Yeah, technology is only a problem when it doesn't work. And that's the difficult
Technology-
part of my job.
Stupid.
My internet connection is a time bomb right now because every time it gets cold, my everything just goes to shit.
Technology works
Yeah,
either
they-
really well in the cold or very poorly, depending on how well sealed it is. Because water is a thing that exists.
Yeah. And it's very cold out.
It's snowing where y'all are, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, it's crazy snowy.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It stopped snowing down here or up here, I guess. Yeah. Wait, no, you're. I don't know.
Consider it up. I consider it up.
Directions are
I would
hard.
also consider it up.
It's like 64 here right now, which is a pleasant temperature, and I enjoy it a great deal. I would much rather it be snowing and cold.
When I get older, losing my hair. Get it? Because 64.
Okay, rebooted.
I got you.
Yeah.
Also, for any programmers in the audience, how I'm making it modular is via a properties file, so you can understand how it gets kind of messy given the
We're,
Java properties API. Oh, we're not live, are we?
we're not live.
Dang it! I wanted to be a
That was
big
cute,
nerd.
though.
That was great.
I tried, but
You
I'm
tried your best.
I'm using the properties file API, which looks just like an absolute mess when you're doing it right. So when you do it wrong, it looks even worse. But it's better than trying to use a config file because I don't quite know how that works, and that's how the example TwitchBot was doing things, and I don't like it. So I'm not.
Fair.
In fairness, the config file would let me, have true modularity and let my bot join other channels without having to jump through a billion hoops for it, but I know how properties files work, and I'm going to try and bodge something together involving JSON data to get multiple channels, but I got to get it working for one channel before I get working for many. Yeah, what's up?
I'm going to restart my computer super quick, guys.
Okay. Have fun.
I know nothing about computers.
Yeah, dude, kid, I'm in the same boat. I'm like, whenever he starts talking like this, I'm like, I just nod and smile like I understand what he's on about, because I'm like, I don't know computers, but he's wanting to blither, so.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta blither. That's actually a genuine debugging strategy that people use in programming.
Yeah,
They're like,
they talk to rubber ducks.
it's true. Where is my rubber duck? Where did he go?
You
He's
probably
here
fell
some-
over when your mom was messing around on your desk and trying to awkwardly
Yes.
show me something when you're out of the room.
Yes. Where did he go? He's here somewhere.
Sometimes when I'm on a Skype call with him and he's left the room, his mom just sits down and starts talking to me, and I'm like, yes, hello. Hi.
Yes, hello. I am the internet friend.
Yes, I'm pretty sure for a while there your mom thought that we were dating.
Oh yeah. It would not shock me.
Which is incorrect. We both have significant others.
It's true.
Very incorrect.
Okay, my rubber duck has seemed to have evaporated, but y'all
Did you
get the
check
point.
behind your desk.
Oh, hey, we got a map.
Bad.
Is he the alive?
Doubt
Okay, no dice on the rubber duck, but I swear I have one in here somewhere.
it. Okay.
He does in fact have a rubber duck that's kind of
I also have many Rubik's cubes.
What, you have 3 of them?
1, 2, 3 that work, and then there's a 4th one back there that doesn't work. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 that work. I always forget about the one from the recording studio.
because a friend went to a recording studio in Nashville, and they were like, "I'm gonna get you a souvenir. Here, have a Rubik's Cube." And I went, "Okay, neato."
Yeah, I don't know. It won't start.
No stream?
Like, stream will start, but no sound is coming from anywhere.
Are you sure your sources are aligned correctly? Like your audio sources on stream are pulling from the mixer? I've done that before.
Well, I mean, it was working for him before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was a recent Windows update that could cause something like this. I mean, just to say that, like, it'll randomly change audio devices. But you're also using XSplit, so I can't really give you too many pointers.
I'm using, like, Voice Meter Banana. XSplit isn't a thing that I have. The Discord wants to run on a XSplit if it wants me to show my face and all that at the same time.
Fair. You know, I should really dig into the code for OBS. It's an open source.
Things I could be doing while we're not currently, like, working on stream. Writing my psychology notes, things I'm doing line puzzles.
I feel that I have a skit that's due tomorrow that we have to perform in class.
Oh.
Count me as dead. I would not be able to do it.
Yeah, well, it's about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, so that's like a whole pain in the ass.
Okay.
But only the first tier. So we're doing. We're all going to be cavemen, like meeting our lowest needs.
Fair.
It's going to be great.
Eat, sleep, reproduce.
3 Fs.
Basically.
Bye, random girl outside.
Bye, random girl outside. You were on stream for 3 seconds, except not really.
I'm really glad that I think the geese are starting to move on, because I haven't heard them recently, and it's been a freaking blessing. Geese are assholes.
That's fair.
We have a park here, and everyone calls it Duck Park, even though that's not its name, because there's a big pond, and every year, like, the thing is, they're not ducks. That's where the geese go, like, and chill on the water. And I'm like, these aren't... Okay, that's fine.
You know, I would take this to work, but then every cubicle around me would hear nothing but the Rubik's Cube sounds that I'm making all day from one hand while I'm writing code with the other, and I don't think that would engender good faith amongst my coworkers.
I would go insane.
See, like, G has this thing where he can, like, have, like, 3 different things going, and he could be listening to all of them at once, or doing, like, 5 different things at once, and he'll be, like, fine. It's gotten to the point where he messes with his Rubik's Cube so much, it's white noise to me. I don't hear it. It's not there.
Fair.
It doesn't exist for me anymore.
I do actually, like, tend to listen to 2 or 3 layers of things at a time when my brain is not feeling stimulated enough. I'll, like, listen to music and somebody talking and something else.
Yeah, like I've been talking to him, and he's been listening to 2 different streams at once.
I can't even talk and listen to one stream. Like, I can't do it.
Like, granted, it's not a lot of my brain that's talking, but I could still conversate a little bit. It was a party trick I did in high school all the time, where, like, I'd like toss my Rubik's Cube to someone in the room and say, "Hey, mix this up." Wait for them to mix it up. They hand it back to me, and I just start conversating with someone while I sit there and fix it. Just glance down every couple seconds. Because I'm a big nerd and I don't want to learn normal party tricks.
You don't want to learn how to
Like-
take a shot without your hands, or
You don't even drink, do you?
I don't drink. I have yet to drink.
what's that like?
It's a
I'm not
lot.
judging. I'm just very fascinated. Okay. You never tasted.
I've yet to have any
you never took
alcohol.
a sip of-
Like outside of like religious, ritual things. No alcohol.
Wow.
Never tasted the forbidden fruit.
Mm. That's one way of putting it. Mm. People in my high school did think I was absolutely stoned out of my gourd every minute of the day, though. Despite me never touching a weed. In fairness, I would show up to, like, for the first class of the day with my eyes all, like, red and bloodshot and be complaining about how bright it is in the room, so, like, not an unreasonable inference. But still.
Fair.
Of course, I have the best camera manner projection when we're not on stream.
So I'm thinking, if we can't, I'm probably gonna call it a night. Mostly because I have so much homework to do.
That is a fair thing.
Ugh.
And if we're not streaming, I'm like, well, we can do this later.
I poor you guys. Like, I'm so glad I'm done with school. Like, I don't
must
say
be
that
so
in I don't say that in a braggy way, but like midterms, finals,
The worst.
presentation.
Yeah.
Ugh, ooh.
Yeah, I need to continue studying for probably like another hour if stream doesn't work, and then the second episode of the new season of Doctor Who is on at 8. So
Ooh, how's that?
I watched.
I am already in love with 13. I'm
You
already
took the
in
words
love
right
with
out of my
her.
I
mouth.
fixed
So
it.
good.
You fixed it?
You fixed it! Yay!
Okay, to be fair, it was actually my co-streamer who fixed it. I just take all the, I take the glory because it's my
Thank
stream.
you, Zogle.
She like looked over and she was like, "Hey, that button's not on," and I was like, "What?"
It's always something small.
By the way, chat, we're back. I'm so sorry.
We only died a little bit.
Yeah, Ross fell. I died.
Yeah.
Not Zogle. Matt died.
Is your hold on, give me just a second to make sure. Is no. I don't want to watch that person. Thank you.
Yeah, don't watch that person. That person sucks. Wait, who?
I
is that
can't
person?
believe that person.
Please don't be somebody that I like.
I don't think it's anyone that you know, but I could be. Also, I don't see your stream.
Neither do I. I got Fimplesips, I got Renee, I got the actual Dungeons and Dragons channel. I got someone who wrote a Conway's Game of Life script, which is really cool, by the way. It's like like the Twitch chat can interact with a Conway's Game of Life grid, which is very cool. Also very, very nerdy.
It looks like it is just popped on. I mean, on my phone, it's popping on.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Cool.
Stressful.
Question is, do I need to rehost you?
Crap, I need to redo all my tags too. God bless it.
Yeah, it's been like only an hour, so the auto host won't ping. Can I do this from your chat?
You should be able.
Oh,
No, you have to
damn
get in
it.
your chat.
I don't have permission to perform that action. Yeah, it's not my... Hi, I would like to go to my chat. Host.
Okay.
Dude. There we go.
There we go.
Much better.
Thanks, friends. Let's start all over again.
Let's start over.
when we left off,
I put a curse
Ash-
on
on
Oriana
Oriana.
for a whole minute.
Just for a minute.
Yeah.
She has
Okay,
sweet
but it's
relief from her
blindness.
migraine.
In this case, I think it's okay.
Yeah, she so
She has
you
a sweet relief for 1 minute, and then it all blasts back in her face.
so you cast the spell on her, and she goes, "Wait, what are you?" Oh, unconventional, but this works. Okay. Okay.
Of course it works. It always works.
What do you need help with?
Okay. So, tell me, like, you see auras, right? You see magic.
Yes.
Okay. So are like magic related? Like, if you see someone with a red aura and you see someone else with a red aura, like, what does it mean? Like,
Well, there isn't a particular color for each spell per se. Sometimes, depending on the source, it'll appear a different color. Rodovine has so many different kind of magics intertwined within that they all mix together and make this sort of blinding white. You have some form of curse upon you, so that's where the green comes from.
okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Well, wait. I'll rephrase that. Okay. So, do you like? What do you know like about curses and stuff?
Well, magic is sort of my my fascination. I'm fairly well read on many things. I guess it just depends what you want to know.
Okay. Well, oh fuck, I don't know the name of. I don't know the. Does she have a name?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, okay. So, what do you do when you get cursed by someone that's probably a god or a witch, or what do you do?
Well,
And I look at her with a smile.
She can't see your smile.
That's- I still look at her with a
But she
smile.
can feel it.
She can feel the warmth of it. She says, "Well, I mean, a witch and a god; those are two very different things. If it's a witch, you can go to a temple. Gods, I suppose there are certain rituals that very powerful spellcasters could perform to remove it, although they might incur said god's wrath, or a wish spell would be sufficient."
That's heavy
That's
stuff.
not for a very long time.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So like, I don't want to. It's not that I'm like I'm not in a hurry or anything, you know. But maybe we should talk like later when you're like when you're feeling okay.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah. Some rest sounds nice.
Okay, so it's a deal, and I put my hand in front of her and I take her arm and I'm like, I shake it with mine.
Okay.
Good. Well, thank you. Now, enjoy
Your 1 minute of bliss. 30 more seconds of bliss.
Enjoy your the rest of the time you're here. I know you are. And I run.
About 10 seconds pass as you're running away, and a cry, like an outburst, echoes off the walls of the cavern.
Oh.
And it's Oriana screaming your name.
I go over to Oriana and I to her for a moment, and like I'm assuming she's back to just being like, oh.
Yes.
Okay, so do I know that that's what's bothering her?
Yeah, you would know.
Okay. Like,
I think she said
like-
something about it last time.
okay. So it's like, assuming it's a bit too bright for you in here.
Yes, there's usually I can avert my vision, but this is, even closing my eyes doesn't help much.
Well, here, and she unclasps like her cloak.
Whoa! I'm too young for this.
We will.
Hey, she has like 3 other layers of clothes on underneath her cloak. Okay,
You're
Her
gonna
cloak-
show ankle.
I'm wearing pants and boots.
Still ain't go.
She literally knows her hands.
Is that a freaking elbow? You.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit. She's like dying.
Hello? Ooh. Whatever
it's
she
all of
did.
us. No, it's cursed.
No, stop! Stop! No, I don't want anime music in my ears.
She bumped the plug-in for her headphones, and now they're panicking.
No, incorrect. Okay. So because she wears a long sleeve shirt and then a shirt, and pants and boots. She's totally covered. She ain't showing no extra skin.
She has a body, lewd.
Dude.
But
If she has a body, she a thought.
Whoa.
All women are queens. Anyway, story.
Ooh, Razz, we're
no,
having a...
stop.
Having yourself an adventure with your audio equipment over there.
Music. Stop. Incorrect. But so she takes off her cloak and she kind of like drapes it over like Oriana, so it's like kind of like over her head too. Especially because this is like she just got like this winter cloak, so it's a lot thicker too.
Mhm.
So it's just like it's over her head. It's like, and she kind of like places a hand on like Oriana's shoulder a little bit. It's like, here, I hope this helps.
Oh. Well, it's something.
Well, like, I thought, like, my thought process is, you know, if you close your eyes and like it's bright out, you can still see like light through like your eyelids. So if something covers it,
Yeah.
it won't be as bad.
Yeah. She says, it helps a little. Thank you, Endr.
Of course, and she goes back, and Endr goes back to then helping Zogle and the small.
Mhm. Yeah, and you feel like a little warmth kind of like in your chest area. Like that doesn't originate from you yourself. And it's like a divine kind of like good job.
Ah!
Say
Thank you, Panacia.
that's a good job there, Endr.
Okay, so your time passes. Okay, about 8 hours
Right.
pass.
I'm probably covered in quote unquote dirt since we're not real sure. Just like Kyr'nes, this is the last time I do anything good for you.
Oh,
I
I'm
am
sure.
covered in possible guts.
Oh, I'm sure you'll probably have plenty of favors to give me. Don't worry.
You know I know create bonfire, right? You're aware that that's a thing I know how to do.
No, I didn't actually. That could come in handy.
Oh my god.
Or infestation. I'm sure you would look great in fleas. And just,
Is
like,
that why that guy
wander
jumped? As he's wandering off, just, is that why that guy jumped into the candle?
Wow, callback. That's an old one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole first episode. First episode.
Second.
No, it was the first episode. It was the very end of the
No,
first episode.
You left the Dragon's Den at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been second.
Fair.
Because I remember there was a whole thing. We waited a week to find out what Owl's plan was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then yeah, I forgot the first episode isn't recorded, so the first recorded episode's episode 2. I forgot about that.
Okay, so now you've got some nice plantage. We're starting some soup.
I'm at soup.
Is there like some sort of old recipe y'alls know? Because, you know, if you brought that and it's super delicious to the surface, then maybe you could be friends based off of that. I hate all of you.
Azelle steps forward and he says, "We make soup at the inn. I can assist with this."
Groovy.
Groovy.
I'm gonna go over to Oriana, who I'm sure by now is just kind of sick of everybody.
Yeah, she's You eventually.
What color is water magic?
Water magic? Are you asking her?
Yeah, you should look at. Yeah, I'm asking her.
She says, cleanse water or control.
I put a shape water around her eyes.
Oh, that's a little better. Thank you.
I might not be able to cure the brightness, but I can hold on to this and at least make it a better color.
Well, it's something different anyway. Cool.
Look, I'm not turning back into an octopus to cover your eyes.
It's fine. If we could hurry, that would be great.
Yeah, you're not suffering damage. You're fine.
We've only got 24 hours, right?
Well, if
Well,
y'all
now.
hurry up and cook, and then this is what we're gonna do. I don't know. I only got this far, guys. I mean, I am not an intelligent individual. Well, I like to think of myself as one. I am a very wise individual. So if y'all come up with shitty ideas, I can tell you if it's a shitty idea or not. But I can't really help you otherwise.
For show. So it's about let's see. It was kind of evening when you guys started into Rodavine. So it's probably like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, so we just worked through the night.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we can take as short of a longer rest as possible. I've used a lot of magic, you know.
Long rest for
making-
8 hours.
Long rest,
I
alright.
know. I'm trying to like low key talk about this.
Well, how long is a short rest again? Like 4 hours?
No, a short
Sure,
rest
it's
is
like
like
an
maybe
hour.
30 minutes-ish.
Yeah, fair. I was having a thought and then it left.
How long does it take us to get back up to the surface?
About an hour.
We could take 7 of them here, can be part of your village, and then on our last hour, go up and make like a cheetah and go really fast. I don't know other things. I'm not a city person.
Okay.
Okay, this
we-
was a good talk, Kyr'nes.
We apologies, I'm a little all over the place. We really only have so much time. 8 whole hours? Are you sure? I understand this is greatly taxing on you, but I kind of need this
An
to go
earthquake
well.
Can wreck an entire city in 30 minutes or less.
God damn it! Stop! I don't want to listen to my brother, and Jesus Christ!
Hey, My Brother and Me is a quality podcast.
It is.
It is a quality podcast, and I enjoy it a great deal. Not something I want to be listening to in the middle.
This stream is not endorsed by brother.
Well,
Might-
I may have I can play with Song of Rest, and maybe that will help you to be more energized faster, I guess.
Great. How fast?
Look up Song of Rest.
It just add so during you can spend like an additional it dice. Woohoo! It's just I know it's not like crazy, but I was just
That
maybe
is precisely not what we need right now.
yeah, but like maybe it would like I don't know, maybe the DM would like, oh, it's a good idea, so I'll take off like I don't know, 15 minutes because you're using that
a
song.
little bit. Okay, do you guys... Okay. Are you
Kyr'nes, the
going
greatest
to
storms
rest?
can destroy cities within moments. So clearly we don't need 24 hours.
Mm,
I'm
well,
even willing to make a deception check on this.
What would I roll against his deception check? Sense motive? Is that a check?
Insight.
Insight, yeah.
check. What is even my insight bonus? I never look at it. Insight bonus.
I think it's wisdom.
It's not gonna be very good then.
Hey, 17. Ooh.
Ooh, if my character sheet would load. Oh no, my character sheet has crashed. JK, it didn't crash all the way. We're good.
Good.
Can I support Kyr'nes on that insight check? Cause like obviously like we have to move on. Like
Right.
I can compromise, but like
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'll say. If you do a long rest and you expend like a Song of Rest afterwards, I'll give you guys all inspiration.
Hmm.
That's like
A lot.
awesomeness.
That's a whole lot.
Like, isn't DM's inspiration like we can re-roll anything?
I think you can give yourself advantage, yeah.
yeah.
Also, I rolled a 9, so I'm definitely buying what he's putting down.
Okay, so then in that case, is everyone good with the long rest? Is that what your plan is?
That's what the dice have told me I'm good with.
Yeah.
I'd rather get advantage for all the bullshittery that we're going to... If we're not going to fight these 3 assholes, then we're going to definitely need some high rolls for,
Yeah.
convince of not slavery.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Endr doesn't put up a fight. She's just like, okay. I
Cool. So, while the stew's a brewing, you guys take an 8-hour rest. Get all your stuff. You get inspiration from, bless you, from Azure's Song of Rest. Yeah. You have 8 hours left.
Lord.
8 hours. The third day. All right, I guess we should probably get up there and, face.
We then have
impending-
7. We then
and
have 7 hours
facing
to find them.
impending
and
doom.
You now have 7 hours.
because it takes us an hour to get up there.
Yo, do you even know where we're going, Kyr'nes?
Well, they said it was on the head. That's about all I know. Well, unless Azure knows a little more from what we were told.
Oh yeah, of course I know more. No, I don't.
No,
I
You were
don't fucking
told
give
that
us this bullshit.
You were told the name of the place is the Crown.
Mhm.
So
So I suppose we're headed for the crown. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't really have time to
Bye.
book an appointment or anything.
Yeah,
That's how
let's
titties work, right?
Let's just run, literally.
okay.
I can see about busting a slot and getting us maybe faster transportation. Give me just a second.
I mean, it's
Oh,
not like a long way to go. Like it's like
it's like
So it was
walking
like-
from here to Safeway for me.
I think last time I said it was like a 30-minute cart ride to get from the shoulder to the middle of the back.
Yep.
So like it's probably like a 45-minute walk-ish to get to the head.
Well, off we go.
Off we go. We have 7 hours and 15 minutes on the dot.
That is true.
God bless it.
And you have
Endr is
to
very punctual.
yeah. And I mean technically you have to get back to the Dragonborn before they do anything risky. So and
true.
like so that's like 6 hours and 15 minutes technically.
Oh boy.
Just say 7
Okay.
Wee woo.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Just to be clear, Kyr'nes is like, as we're moving through the city, he has quaffed the potion of humankin, so he's not like the biggest sore thumb.
Okay. You have 6 charges left on that.
That lasts for like an hour for him?
Yeah, so you make it to so after asking a couple people for directions, I guess because the first person was really drunk and didn't know where it was, I don't know.
People probably think we're hella sketchy. It's fine. They haven't seen us before.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a closed environment, so you know. Yeah, you make it to the Crown, which is a fairly large, sort of compound. It's so the building is it's a triangle, and with spires rising from each point, and each.
I can't think of like the proper word for like a 3D pyramid.
Not a pyramid. Not a pyramid. It's because it's a flat triangle, and then the towers go straight up.
Oh.
And each of them has like a balcony, which faces a central courtyard. And there are symbols for like each of the like each kind of magic that is represented. The arcane is like it's like an eye of truth kind of situation. Nature is like a leaf, and divine is like a sun or some shit. I don't know.
Praying hand.
Damn, I'm real descriptive on that crown. I like it. Kyr'nes on our way up. I think I could probably be the best one to get an audience as nobility, if I could probably get Azure's help, sweet talking our way up there.
Yeah, I was kind of planning to lean on your noble experience. I definitely don't have the chops for this kind of thing normally.
Experience? Oh, okay. Just walk off.
Okay. So are you entering the clerical tower, or the cleric tower, not the clerical tower?
And when's your
Nature.
appointment, sweetie?
I'm probably gonna go through the Druid tower, actually.
Okay.
Like, everyone's like, yeah, clerics, and I'm like, I don't talk good to clerics. Bye.
Okay. Are you guys gonna follow him?
Yes?
Yes. I mean, like, part of Endr feels like she should maybe try and go to talk to the cleric because it was said that she's the easiest one to get a hold of. But also, she would be going by herself, and she's like, she
I
just
feel
to
like-
go up to someone. Her entire amount of social she has just gets thrown out the window, off the giant, into the next town.
I feel like maybe
That's my new favorite statement. Out of the town, off of the giant.
I feel like if Kyr'nes saw Endr move to go to the cleric tower, he'd kind of follow, because he's like, that's the one that's easy to talk to. We need to talk to someone.
Can I whisper to Zogle as we walk, as I see him like going for the leaf sign, I'm like,
Do you know what you're doing? I know you're noble, right? But like, it doesn't mean anything if you don't know what you're saying.
I can speak to the wild people a lot better than I can speak to a cleric. Totally real magic. Totally 100% not faith-based, actual magic that could help people.
Endr glares over her shoulder.
It's real magic. I promise.
Endr,
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind next time you need your ass saved.
I will also keep my
Destroyed.
magic in mind the next time you need your ass saved.
I hope you realize that when she says this, she totally has like a joking smile on her face, like she's not serious
So-
at all about that.
But apparently Zogle does not catch that.
That was a joke, Endr. Oh, jeez.
Ha
Haven't
ha.
you heard humor before?
Ha ha, funny
I-
joke.
I was the one who joked first.
So are you guys
where I'm like, as they part on each side, I'm like, where do I go? Yeah, where do I go? Where should I
Azure.
be?
Pick your poison. You can go with them, or you can come with me. We can all go one way or another. I just personally know I can talk to, wild people better than I can speak with totally real magic.
Our real monsters.
Okay, I'll go with the
Yeah.
leaf one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you should go Zoggle.
Yeah.
Zoggle's not by
2 and 2 is
himself.
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
so I just want to get this clear, you're splitting the party.
I love what you're saying.
Ooh. That's a bad.
You're with us right now.
That's the opposite of hearing how do you want to do this.
Okay, so we'll start with Endr and Kyr'nes.
We sent the unsocial people together.
I know, right?
I can lie and do not much more. So,
And your social skills get thrown out the window off the giant back into Belwyn where she belongs.
Meanwhile, the one that can talk is literally like basically a demon to these people.
Yeah, also, you have about 15 minutes left on your potion.
Ooh.
Just so you
Might
know.
want to rechug that.
As we're walking in, I try to surreptitiously take a drink of that. Kind of like hide it under my hood. Like, definitely am not drinking a potion. Yes, hello.
Okay. You have 5 charges left on that. So as you walk in, there is a tiefling man with a sword at his side, and he's like decorated in full plate with a shield that has a symbol of a sun on it. And he steps forward to you and he says, "Welcome to the Tower of Serenity. How can I be of assistance?"
My good sir, you see, we seek an audience with what's the tiefling's name?
Asephia.
My good sir, we seek an audience with Asephia. You see, we have a few things to discuss with them.
Can I make a quick perception check? Like, wow. Can I just make a perception check to, like, in fact, talking to
I'm missing all of that.
music.
Oh, what?
Our headphones are giving up. What I got out of that was she wants to make a perception check to find out what the heck is Kyr'nes doing.
No, I want to make a perception check to, probably confirm my suspicions that the dude we're in fact talking to already is in fact a Sepia.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception.
Okay, let me go and find my perception modifier. +2. 15.
Okay, so this guy seems to be like an old like a more of a fighter than a cleric. And I mean, there's like a lot more to this tower than just like this first level entry. So you would guess, or you might surmise that he is a potentially like a paladin of Ra who's been assigned to assist in guarding the tower.
Okay.
He upon hearing your request, Kyr'nes, he says, Asephia is very busy at all times. Appointments for her to see her are booked out approximately 3 months.
I was expecting that. My dearest apologies for imposing, but this is of great importance, you see. I am an emissary of a distant monarch, let's say, who wants to have some dealing with Rodovine, and I presume that given that the head of this tower, so to speak, is a cleric of...
Endr puts a hand on Kyr'nes' shoulder. Like, I'm sorry about my friend here. He tends to ramble on a bit. I was not of particular, like, as I'm a beginning cleric myself, and I've heard the wise ways of Sepia, and I was hoping to gain some knowledge and direction from her as to where I should continue.
I would like both of you to make both of you make deception checks with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yes.
I tried so hard.
I know you did.
And not so far.
Dang it. 2d20 plus 5.
An emissary of a distant monarch? Like, come on, dude.
Hey, that's roughly close. 2d20 plus 5. Oh my Hylia, keep and bless me. That was 2 18s.
Classy. So 15 and 19.
Wow.
So 18 plus 5 for reference. That's 23.
Okay. So he says,
This is me laughing, not Endr.
yeah. So he says, are you two together?
Well, our interests do align. We both require to seek audience, and I...
Guidance.
Yes, audience, but your guidance via audience. I assure you that our needs are much more in line than you may think. As we know that the head of this tower is ever so dreadfully busy, we were hoping to, for lack of a better term, kill two birds with one stone.
Indeed. I tell you what, come with me. And he turns, and leads you up a flight of stairs to, turns into a door that's partially up. Turns into a door that's partially up them, into a room with a desk, and he says, I'll need the information, on who you're representing. I will take this matter to Asifia myself and see what I can do.
But of course, simply allow me to elucidate things. I unfortunately lost my official papers in a unfortunate moment of troublesome interaction with some bandits. I'm not quite sure why they would have taken them. It's an odd thing to steal, but I'm not a bandit. I don't know what they do.
I mean, it would have made more sense to say, "Oh yes, they stole a bag of ours, which contained the document. They didn't know what was in it, but they just stole it."
He's panicking.
And Kyr'nes does not want to do well in a panic situation.
He's a terrible liar when he's panicked.
Go ahead and give me a deception roll. I'm gonna roll against you.
Okay.
Endr's just like, I'm representing myself. I'm here to get knowledge and guidance for myself. He's here with me. We were traveling together.
Natural 20, that is 25.
Okay, he rolled
Get dung.
He rolled a what?
He rolled a 7.
He believes anything I say.
It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, there's bandits around these parts, alright.
He furrows his brow and he says, "That's very concerning indeed. You should make every effort to get those papers back. Who knows what less reputable folk could be doing with them. Who are you a representative of?"
Now I have to make up an... Now Kyr'nes is much quicker to respond with this, but I have to think of a name. He immediately just rattles off some name. Let's say, Phrygia.
Phrygia.
Of, as I said, quite a far-off land. Let's say... Labrina.
He doesn't say, let's say. I assure you, he says, of Labrina, I assure you.
Very well. I will return.
Can I make an insight check to make sure that he's actually going to do this thing?
Sure.
What is my insight?
Can I help him with that? So that way he has advantage.
Yes.
Sure.
Nope.
So that's 2d20 flat. That means I rolled a 16.
A 16? Yeah, he seems truthful. So he leaves you sitting at the desk. And we are going to jump over to Zogle and Azure. So as you enter this naturey tower, there is a white dragonborn who has been chained to a desk. He's
Kind
really
of
well
glad
dressed.
that.
Yeah, kind of glad we took the cleric tower now. That would have went real poorly.
Yeah. He's pretty well dressed, and sits like very straight. He seems at least decently fed, and he looks at you and says, "Welcome to the Wild Tower. How can I assist you?"
It's almost a question of how can I assist you. If you can get me to the leader of this tower, I would be much appreciated. I'm a nobleman from another village, and I wish to speak with them, about very important nature-based things.
Oh, I can get you with a minor representative, but
Oh no, that
Uh,
won't do. It's of the most important for the nature of
most
things.
important.
It's the most important. Words are hard, okay?
How dare you talk to us like this? We are nobles. We need to see the person that's
Borellian.
yeah, Beryllian. We need to see Beryllian right now.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't mean any offense. Make a deception check.
Let's go. I got a +9, so
Oh my god.
Nice.
Good.
it's better be something.
Don't you roll a 1?
Oh,
Roll a
okay.
one.
I rolled an 18 for
Oh
a total
God!
for
Okay.
a total of 27.
He says, I'm very sorry, sir. Let me get someone for you. And he picks up a bell that's on his desk, and he shakes it, but no sound comes out. And sets it back down. He says, I'm sorry, I'd go and get them myself, but I can't.
Understandably.
They'll be down shortly. And within a few minutes, let's see, okay, so a tall woman descends the stairs behind him. She has like blue skin and sort of ratted hair.
It's a druid thing, you see.
It's
not just me.
She is a little bit taller than you, Zogle.
She's
and-
taller than Zogle? Zogle's like 6'5".
And she has a fairly warm smile as she approaches the desk and sits on the corner, and she says, "Hello. How I am a minor assistant to Borellian. How may I assist you?"
I need to see Borellian. It is of the utmost importance between druids.
I'm very sorry, Borellian does not take visitors. He's very busy.
So I pull out the like one of the medallions of the forest guardian, and I'm just like, I put it on the table and be like, I need to see him. Or it's a him, right? Him.
Yes.
Whatever.
Borellian is a him.
I need to see him now.
She says, "May I look at that?"
Absolutely.
She picks it up, and kind of like turns it over in her hand a couple times, and she hands it back to
This is
you.
real deal.
She hands it back to you, and she says, "Let me announce you, and I will return."
Thank you.
Classy. Thank you, Forest God.
Thank you. I only had to punch my brother in the face for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna switch back to Kyr'nes and Endr.
The two least sociable people in our group.
After a few minutes, the
Mr. Paladin
paladin.
return.
the paladin returns and says, "Do you have any credentials at all? Anything to speak of?"
As I said, all the things of that nature, they were stolen in that unfortunate accident. It's ever so dreadful. You see, I was even surprised. This seems like such a lovely city that even we had to trouble with those meddlesome band. It's remarkable.
Indeed.
Does Endr have like any form of like identification that tells like, hey, this is truthfully who I am. Look at my face. I'm from Belwyn.
I mean, probably not, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no like official government systems for that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess you have the Book of Panacea, so you could be like, I am a cleric, hello.
Yeah, it's just like,
Hello, in Cleric.
I'm gonna use my Sailor Moon manga because I can't find my fucking brilliant notebook. Like, look! It's just like,
Look, teeth.
look at my picture book.
I love Sailor Moon.
Make up.
Yeah.
It's just like, listen, sir, I know this probably is identification you're looking for, but I'm one of the. So I'm assuming since like the way that you described it, by the way, like it's like the small, like little, like she doesn't really have like really any barely any followers.
Yep.
It's like I think she's gonna like play it up just like a little bit. She's like, I'm one of the few chosen followers of Panacea. Here's my book. It's more classy than that, but I can't think of words right now.
Come to the signing on Wednesday.
I've been studying psychology all day.
Fair. Words are hard.
Can I get a persuasion check?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, would it be an advantage because I'm, like, still schmoozing, like, oh man, those bandits!
I'm not gonna give you this one an advantage.
Okay. Have to
But-
try.
Come on. Sailor Moon, be with me. 20!
Yeah!
Oh my god! Thank you, Sailor Moon!
He,
Thank you, Takayushi, for writing this brilliant novel!
Something about your devotion strikes a chord in him, and he says, I remember being a new disciple of Ra. It is a time full of trials.
Hence, I need the guidance.
I can buy you a few minutes. A very short audience.
Endr doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I assure you, we'll be quick. That's hopefully all we'll need. Just like.
He leads you up the tower, and eventually you come to a set of large doors, and he knocks on them like in a specific pattern, like a little bit of shaving a haircut.
So, coded knock to make sure it's who's who.
And from inside you hear a voice say, "Come in." Just like gentle but carrying. Yes. Everyone else is muted besides you, or is this normal?
I mean, other people can hear you. They seem to think it's a little low. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to fix it.
Yeah.
That might take some
Yeah.
tinkering.
Shit. Well, you enter, and before you is a tiefling woman. Her hair is it's like plated with gold, right? There's a couple of attendants kind of brushing it out a little bit and applying some of this ornamentation. She has a headpiece. It's not quite a crown, but it's very similar. It is definitely religious garb, though. It's not for like, it's not like a vanity thing. It's like part of her her whole
Devotion.
deal. Yeah, exactly. She has purple robes that are finely cut, and she's reading from a tome.
Boy, give us what her horns look like.
Her horns?
She's a
Yeah, tieflings
tiefling.
have horns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say that she has like goat spiral horns,
Ooh,
like
okay.
kind of situation. And she's like she's a red tiefling. She
A
turns.
red tiefling in
That,
a purple robe.
That's
Ooh,
interesting.
You know what? Maybe she's wearing.
You know, it's interesting that the tiefling is red because red in Egyptian mythology is traditionally the color of Set, who is normally a pretty heated antagonist toward Ra. Interesting.
And a tiefling cleric, so there's that too.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of
Layers going on there.
Layers. Okay, so
So-
maybe she's wearing anything but purple.
Purple.
She turns and looks at the door and she says, "Oh, I didn't realize that we were allowing you in. Hello." She stands, and she has sort of like a very if you didn't know she was a cleric, you might mistake her for some kind of royalty.
Mm.
And she carries herself forward with like an air of humble superiority. Like she doesn't
She
think
knows she's in charge. She thinks to herself as a people person, but she knows she's in charge, kind of deal.
Exactly. Like she doesn't think she's better than you. She just is kind of better than you.
She doesn't think she's better than you, but she's
better.
in a position that she is technically better than us.
Yeah.
It's not smugness, it's true.
She walks to you, Azure. Excuse me, Kyr'nes. God damn it! It's been so long since I've done that. And she takes her hand and offers it to you.
Ooh.
Well, you better kiss it.
Kyr'nes panics for half a second. Is she wearing any rings?
Yes.
Then he kisses the rings.
Okay.
My apologies for imposing upon your precious time, esteemed one, but we have a few petitions to make that shouldn't be too much.
I am dead right now.
Kyr'nes is absolutely faking it as hard as he can, trying to be a noble.
She
Well, thank God you don't do what Zogle does, because he's a terrible.
He's like, just be the opposite of Saul. That'll work.
yeah. She
Zogle doesn't kiss ass. He's cut and dry. He gets straight to the point.
She looks you up and down. And I think she definitely notices your dragon staff if it's out. Is it out?
I'd say it's kind of like sticking out of the haversack a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, but the end of it or the top of it?
Let's say the top of it to increase the dramatic tension.
Okay.
Oh, God.
The spirit of the dragon whispers in your ear, and he says, "Just a reminder, I'm still here, and you're an idiot."
Kyr'nes is trying not to react to that.
I'm amazed this dragon staff and Zogle can't get along.
Because Zogle can't speak Draconic.
Yeah.
She turns and walks and says, she looks to one of her servants and she says, "Serve tea." And she sits on sort of like a luxurious sofa, you know. And she says, "Come sit," and directs you to a pair of armchairs that are set across from her.
Kyr'nes does his best to sit in what his mind looks regal, but probably looks a little stiff and uncomfortable to the average person.
Sure.
Endr sits back, like she sits, but she's like sitting comfortably, like she has her back straight, but she just looks like she's like has posture. She just looks like she's sitting with good posture.
Yep.
She doesn't look tense or anything, even though she's absolutely positively just screeching inside. But I also want to mention that Endr does genuinely lady and be like, "Hey, help." How the hell did I do this cleric thing? I don't get it yet.
I don't get it. It's hard.
Help me, please.
Yeah. So Acephia's or Acephia, I keep forgetting how it's said, but whatever.
One of the two.
Her servant, a Dragonborn, fetches tea. Interestingly, the Dragonborn in this tower aren't chained. So that's a thing. She says, "How can I help you?" It was, let's see, you're representing
Phrygia.
Phrygia. She doesn't stumble. I do.
Fair.
What draws you here to this place?
Well, Lady Phrygia had heard of your tribulation in regards to... What was the dragon's name? Question of the day. What did I say the dragon's name was?
You said it was...
Erazion. Lady Phrygia had heard of your city's difficulties with the great fiend Erazion, and we simply wanted to see if you required any aid in this. I assume you've bested this vile fiend, but we were... He's killing... That's killing him inside, by the way. We assume you had bested this trial, but we were curious if you required any aid. Labrina is, of course, a very giving country who... Since we have aplenty, we desire to aid those around us. Well, you're not necessarily around us, but given the peculiar nature of this kingdom, perhaps you will be eventually. That was her thought process, anyway.
Indeed. Labrina must be... Labrina, right?
Yes, Labrina.
Labrina must be behind on the times. Erazion has not been a tyrant over these lands in at least 10 years.
Oh my.
I guess word travels slow to lesser kingdoms. And I know I said that kind of bitchy.
Yeah.
She like it's not like shady coming from her. She just kind of states a fact. Like oh I guess like word travels slower there. And she like leans forward and grabs her teacup.
Her
I
last
will-
name is Redwood.
Redwood.
She's throwing shade.
I will inform Lady Phrygia of your particular feelings on the subject.
Good.
However, a dragon of that particular esteem, they must have had a rather large clutch of peoples, and I see that you, keep, how shall I put this delicately, servants. Just how amiable would you be to, just out of curiosity, I assure you, how amiable would you be to changing the status quo just a bit?
And can I get a perception check from you and Endr real quick?
Sure.
Oh God, I
Oh,
have
you
to
can
get my dice.
you can just give him advantage. You don't have to do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I give
Yeah.
him.
I think I
Downside.
have a flat perception bonus. Let me look. Perception. Yep, perception is flat. 2d20. That's a 15.
15 total.
Yeah, 15 total.
Okay. Yeah. So they, although they're very, very like put together and very much like well mannered and that sort of thing. The Dragonborn in the room do become just ever so slightly like visibly uncomfortable when you bring up the dragon.
Oh. Can Kyr'nes, upon seeing them become uncomfortable, do something subtle to signal to them, like, I'm on your side, guys? Maybe, like, just... Oh, he learned, like, Draconic Sign Language. Maybe he, like, puts up a few letters, like, to spell out, like, family or something, like, subtly.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check.
Sure. What do I get on sleight of hand? That's... Oh no, it's dexterity. Uh-oh. We're about to have a good time.
These hands are made for making steak and drinking beer, not for your buttercups.
I rolled a 9.
A 9.
A 9.
They don't catch it.
Oh. Drat. Does the tiefling catch it?
I would doubt the tiefling knows Draconic.
Yeah, she might think it's a little odd, but she's too well mannered to say anything. And she says, "When you say change the status quo, what do you have in mind?"
Well, there are a few potential avenues to take. Perhaps we could... Well, the most dramatic avenue, let's begin with that one. The most dramatic avenue of action would be to relocate these individuals. I know that's a bit much. You would lose essentially an entire class of person from your fine kingdom. But perhaps that would immediately quell any even potential revolt that could even be considered. It would no longer be any sort of problem. It would simply evaporate. However, the more delicate avenue that we could attempt is merely improving their status a bit. It wouldn't have to be by much, but instead of enslavement and derision, let's say
that's a harsh word.
It's...
You sure you want to use that?
It's too late. Instead of the current arrangement, we could perhaps give them mild compensation and allow them to come into the light. Make sure that they're integrated into the society more fully. That too would put down any potential revolt. And I know that I'm a bit out of the loop as far as news goes, but if I were in their shoes, why, I'm sure they wouldn't be too pleased about the current situation.
Are you familiar with?
Ender's sitting there hugging, like from Planetarium.
Panicking!
Sailor Moon, help!
She says, "Are you familiar with Ra, Mister?" Oh, I apologize. I've not caught your name.
My name is Kyr'nes.
Mr. Kyr'nes. Are you familiar with Ra?
I know he is a deity of
Endr
light.
I do.
Ah, yes, allow my compatriot to speak with you upon that subject.
Oh.
And,
My name is Endr Moonwind, ma'am. I'm from the town of Felwyn. I'm a I've just
Devotee.
begun my I'm a devotee, thank you, of Panacea. Very recent, in fact.
Panacea.
Not
You'll
a very
forgive
large
me,
god, I know.
In a world of so many, some slip through the cracks.
She's
What does Panacea say to you?
well, she is the daughter of a how do I say the father's name again? Scott.
Alcepius.
Acepius, there we go. Like she's one of the daughters of Acepius. She does her I don't see.
She.
You're asking an agnostic person what a god does. I'm like,
Panacea is the goddess of the universal cure, so she.
so medicine and
Yes.
healing.
I see. Well, then, let me explain what Ra has taught me these years.
Doctor Who is starting.
Oh no!
No!
We'll have to catch up later.
She says,
I'll watch the beginning
No.
a little bit later.
She says, I am a high priestess of Ra. I have been bred from birth to become as royalty so that I may better understand Ra's wishes. The class system, of course, of our city is very important. Now, you may have noticed that my servants are not in chains. They do not revolt because they respect me. If I were to allow these Dragonborn to leave and go free and not pay for the crimes of their mother, I would lose the respect of the people. And that is when the true revolt starts.
I just realized something. Time on the potion.
You're fine.
Okay. Okay, out of curiosity, this is like a play that I would make only in a desperate situation. Could I dispel the potion of humankin and at the same time cast Disguise Self so I look like a bronze Dragonborn?
You'd have to pull some.
I don't know if you can dispel a potion on yourself.
Yeah.
It's only because you're not the originator of the potion.
Yeah, and I don't have Dispel Magic.
I would say probably not.
Okay. I was just curious.
It might almost be easier to cast Disguise Self on your
on the humankin,
and
yeah.
and then make yourself look bronze.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is an option.
Or don't start fires before you're.
Yeah! Yeah! That's only if he, maximum panics and goes, "Ugh! I need to do things!"
Yeah, I feel like Endr probably just I feel like she tries to tries to kind of do a balancing act where she plays into like the values of women,
Mm.
but also like is backing Kyr'nes
Mm.
and almost going like, you know,
Devil's advocate.
yeah, I almost a little bit, but she's saying like, I certainly understand that, you know, like what their mother has done to this town and these people. It was an atrocious thing. No one should have to endure that sort of tyranny. And punishment itself is deserved, but what have her children done? And why not give her children the option to stay and respect your rules and stay and respect your way of living and your way of governing, but also allow them to make that decision to try to live within your standards and maybe see what they have to offer in your society other than being punished.
Make a persuasion check.
Fuck. I have to go get my phone.
I can roll for you.
They're falling off.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot.
Hello?
Hello.
Whoa.
I forgot that
Oh.
you were doing the thing.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I think my headphones have officially died.
Drat.
Well, that's gonna get real like a weird.
I mean, I have my big ones, but I can't wear my elf ears or my hat with it. Oh, the cold wind is really nice.
Mm.
So persuasion, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, +1, so. That landed, I'm not even joking, like this. Like, it landed, like, on its point.
If it's cocked, just reroll it.
That's an impressive way for the dice to land cocked, though.
15. I don't know.
15? She says, shit, what is the name of her god again? Somebody remind
Ra.
me. No, other god.
Gone. Oh. Oh.
Panacea.
Panacea. Yeah.
Panacea. She says, Panacea has given you great wisdom, child. Okay, I said nothing that sounded like Siri. Okay, that's fine. However, someone must pay for the crimes of the mother. And
Okay,
Unless-
question.
yeah,
Does everyone think that the mother is dead, or do they know that she's not dead, but she's...
I mean,
See, that's going to play into what I was going to say.
Yeah, because I mean, be like, if everyone
'Cause-
thinks she's dead, I can just be like, well, isn't death punishment in itself enough?
I was going to say something along the lines of, I've heard tell that this dragon still suffers. Perhaps she's taking her own punishment. But that depends on whether the public knows that or not, because that might be playing his cards a little too heavily.
And also, the way that you played it before is that he's a little behind on curve,
Yeah.
so...
here's what I will say. When you met the Silver Dragonborn in Dover, she told you that the dragon was dead.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's probably the public's perception.
Is it?
There's a good
Yeah,
chance.
You're always gonna have crazies that like speculate that that's not actually
Yeah,
dead.
fair.
You know, there's still people out there that think Walt Disney's coming back here soon, and that Michael Jackson is dead, and that Tupac wasn't shot.
Yeah.
Not even to get into Elvis, but anyway.
I would say it's a fair a fair assumption that the public likely believes that the dragon is dead.
It's like, I feel like Endr then continues to say, I think she first says, "Thank you for acknowledging the wisdom that I've been given." She thanks her for the compliment. Thank you, because she's still technically even if they're not and following the same God, still this is another religious figure. Respect. I respect you a great deal because I'm a novice at this shit. But so I feel like she thanks her, is appreciative of that, but she goes on to say if from things that I've heard, this evil tyrant is deceased. She's no longer around. So isn't death considered the highest punishment a person can receive? She's not around to be in chains or suffering. She herself is dead. And her children had no part.
Well, I would say that it's not entirely accurate to say that her children were not a part of her tyranny.
I think you'll find that not all of her children took part.
Are you sure that's what you wanted?
Yup, he does not think about what he's saying, he just says that.
Oh, God!
She says, if you are truly concerned about the welfare of these people, you have made a very strong case for them today. There are 2 dissenters among them who the people know and who must be brought to justice for their kind to find peace. If you truly care about this, then bring me Lima and Jaron.
I do, in fact, care about this a great deal. I will do my best to make, shall we say, inroads into this, how shall I put it delicately, cell, in order to diffuse things in such a way that will allow us to come to an amiable agreement so that we get, both of us, get an interaction we agree with, shall we say.
Let me be very clear. This is not something that I'm concerned with. If you bring them to me, then we will discuss how to move forward. If you do not, I will not seek you out. Is that clear?
Abundantly.
And
No.
he just nods.
My dear colleague, I apologize for occupying so much of our audienciary time. You wished to receive some guidance from this powerful devotee of Ra, yes?
Oh my
He kind of
Learn about Jesus.
remembered, but that's why you were supposed to be here. He's like, well, your turn, have fun. I need to think about this.
No, I'm just. Kyr'nes is being so fucking extra.
Absolutely. He's gonna sell it. He's gonna sell it as hard as he can.
Oh, these I'm wearing 2 sets of dangly earrings, so
And those headphones are like.
yeah, so I'm like, yeah, so, alright, let me compose myself. Yeah, I feel that, yeah, so Endr then kind of like adjusts, like, the way that she's sitting a little bit. And she says, yes, that is, although I was here to help my friend here with his need for an audience with you, as it is also an important situation to me, I also came here to ask for your advice. I know that in no way we are following the same god, Rao being such a prominent god and Panacea being a lesser known one.
Rao is the sun god on Krypton. Ra is who we're talking about. Sorry,
Yes,
I
I'm
hate to be
sorry,
corrective, but...
I was just watching Supergirl!
Okay.
Douglas!
It would have been cool if she was a follower of Rao, but that wouldn't have made much sense. Anyway.
I'm sorry, jeez! Just finished Supergirl like 3 days ago.
Fair.
And we were talking about watching Smallville.
Oh, yeah.
She says, what kind of guidance can I offer you, child? What do you wish to know?
Just what sort of steps I should take. This is such a brand new experience for me, even to be speaking, like have connection with the god. Being able to connect in such a way that she lends strength. I am not sure how to proceed, and just if you have any advice for me as a new follower.
Try to become the ideals of your god. Go to the people and tell them her lessons. Seek out her shrines. Build her devotion, and she will become powerful. And you will become powerful through her. Make no mistake, this power that grows inside of you is not your own. It is a gift.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Certainly. Now, if you don't mind.
Ah, yes, esteemed one, return to your work. We humbly apologize for the interruption. We just simply had to discuss this dreadfully important situation.
It is always a pleasure to receive guests, especially so wise.
Especially what? Sorry.
When they're so wise.
I am humbled by your...
Instead of like...
Cut out for a second.
What?
I just noticed I cut out for a second.
Oh, okay.
Just...
it's instead of perpetuating this like cycle of like niceties, the paladin steps up and he says, "I'll lead you out."
Ah, yes. Thank you, good sir.
So he leads you out. In the nature tower. That was weird.
We did like 4 jingles at once.
Yeah. That was weirdly in sync too.
Yeah.
As
So-
we're being led, what does this tower look like, by the way?
Yeah, so it's a lot more decorated on the inside. The other, like, so the tower of the cleric is like very much like white marble, and like that's pretty much it, right? Like it's very utilitarian until you get up to her actual like living space. The nature tower is, I mean, it's full of like there's rabbits just chilling on the stairs, and
I love
like,
it.
yeah, and like a couple of fae just kind of flitting around, going about their business. There's like plants and vines in pots all over the place. Yeah. And you're only left waiting a moment before you are led up the stairs. And the woman who is actually a, what is the name of this race? They're nature-y and
Asimar?
No, nature. I was about to say ASMR, but it's not
they can like
nature.
disguise themselves.
Are they the Eldridgen?
No,
No. Even though those are the nature elves.
no, they're not the nature elf. She's not an elf. She's
Dryad?
hold on. This doesn't really matter, but it's gonna bother me if I don't figure it out. It's one
Fair
of the
enough.
races from Volo.
That's why I don't guess correctly. I haven't looked at
they're
Volos.
a
yeah.
common race.
Volos are not my. I don't know those races too good.
No, those races too good. She is. Hold on, I've got to be right close to it. She's a furbolg. There we go.
Oh,
That's the
she's big girl.
Yeah.
She thick.
She's thick. She leads you to a set of doors, and she says, he's expecting you. Enjoy your visit. And she quickly turns and leaves.
Thank you. I'm a walk in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
as-
follow him.
Perfect. As you walk in, there's like a water feature in the middle of the room. There's like, it's very nature-y in here, like a druid's wet dream. And
I require pants.
Require pants.
And sat in a swing that is kind of like made of like vines and like thatch and stuff, is a short, kind of a short tiefling. He's got like bluish purple skin, and he's got horns like a bull, right?
Like big old Tavros looking things, or like.
Like Tavros, well, not Tavros looking, but like more like Gamzu looking. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And he jumps up as you enter the room, and he says,
So he's short, by the way.
he is short. He says, "Oh, pleasure to meet you. My name's Borellian."
He's a lot friendlier than I expected.
I mean, that's
What is
fair.
he
You
wearing,
only
by the way?
know druids of Zogle, so
I would say Borellian is wearing like some kind of like, gosh, I don't know. Like part of me wants to say he's wearing like a flannel.
he's wearing a lot.
And open, chest exposed.
Yeah, and it's tucked into like a speedo almost, like a leather speedo.
So think Pink K. Clark.
Yes.
That's a spoiler, sorry.
I'm very perturbed, to be honest.
He says,
I'm writing down how all these folks look because I want to draw the heck out of them.
yes. He says, sorry, I'm not wearing pants. It's been so long since I had visitors. I could
No, the pants is completely acceptable. May I be forward and blunt with you?
Oh, well, it's the best way to be.
How's your magic?
He looks at you for a second and like looks around the room.
Now anybody can grow plants.
Oh, I see what you're looking All right, give me a little. He like cracks his knuckles and like. Okay.
Now, I don't need you to show me anything. What I need you to tell me is the truth. Look around you. Look how much freedom exists here, and yet you've lost the plot.
Is that a note to the DM or?
No, it's to him mostly.
He says.
You have someone chained downstairs to a desk.
Oh, here. That's he knows his name, but I don't. Let's see. That's old Kraylock. He's a volunteer.
That's not very volunteer-esque, is it?
Well, you gotta keep up appearances, now don't you?
And appearances? When you, as a druid, a very powerful druid, as you have just mentioned to yourself and wanted to show your grandeur, and yet you're not fighting for the freedom of people?
Son. He like gets in close to you.
Son.
He says, firstly, there's a sorcerer over in that tower that if he hears any of this, he will throw a fireball so big at you, it'll blow the head clean off this titan.
That's a lot of sorcerer.
I see. So are you just a slave underneath the sorcerer?
I am the only thing keeping that sorcerer away from that dragon down there, and yes, he knows about it.
Ooh. Wee woo!
Well, in that case, I'm going to be explicit with you. We're trying to figure out how to fix this whole situation. This isn't fair to anybody.
What do you want me to do?
I require your help in stopping this individual from treating these people so awfully. I'm not going to tell you where, I'm not going to tell you how, but it took me 8 hours just to make sure that they're fed and cared for.
All right. Look, I've been working hard on this, all right?
I see that, looking at the swing.
There's always time for leisure, boy. Listen. The only reason that any of those Dragonborn down there are not in chains is because I have been keeping the Sorcerer busy. Alright? Now the Cleric, she couldn't care less. Alright? To her, they're just labor. And people underneath her. But to him, he's the one with the real grudge. Alright? He had to fight that dragon I don't know how many times. And he thinks that they all deserve the block. The executioner's block. Alright? So I tell you what. You come to me with a plan that I haven't already thought of. And I'll help you out.
Okay. I have a plan that you haven't thought of.
Go ahead.
We smack the bitch.
I'm sorry. Cause I don't know if you've met the cleric, but because of her disposition, and because I think we were talking about the sorcerer, I'm not sure which bitch you're talking about.
Oh, the one that's in the way, not the one that could care less.
Okay. Do you have a replacement who knows arcane magic well enough to keep this titan from destroying Duver?
No.
Okay, well that's not gonna work then.
Oh, it'll work great. Because she may be irreplaceable, but at the same time, she's got nowhere else to go. A person can only be as powerful as the people beneath them. And if this person does not heed to the other people who require the freedom of these people, she falls.
All right.
I don't
Well, I'm
mean-
just going to clarify. Victus is a boy, but
Well, the way she's bitching, I would think it's a wee babe of a female.
Think about it. If we have you on our side and we have the other cleric on our side, it's 2 out of 3, right? Do you do math? Because I don't, but that's easy to follow.
I don't, but at the same time, like, that's real easy.
all right. I'll tell you what. If you can get the cleric on your side, then there won't be no need for a smackdown.
Damn.
All right? The council's a council. There's 3 of us, so we can break ties. You understand?
Excellent. It's already being set up. I'll meet you back here in a few hours.
Here. Right here.
I mean, probably this is the entrance into an entrance. You have to remember, I'm a noble, not part of your tower. So, yes, I will probably meet you here.
Okay. I'll be here.
I would assume.
I want to draw this.
I don't know if you peeked out or what, but
Yeah.
we totally lost you.
I assume it was her
I want
picking
to
out.
draw this dude. Oh, I want to draw this dude like right now.
And also, and this is like as I'm about to leave, can I have one of your medicinal plants? Because I'm assuming that this is induced.
Do you want the good stuff?
Yes, and not for myself. I would like the good stuff, quote unquote, for somebody who is in a lot of pain.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Just ask the.
He says, well, you got it. He goes and rummages through the chest and starts like tossing jars side to side. And he's like, dude, he sort of yells straight down into the chest. Do they have a flavor preference?
Whatever would be the smoothest. Unfortunately, she's not exactly a warrior type of person.
You got it. He comes back to you and he says, this is a special smooth. I make it myself, and it's so nice and cool in the throat. I call it White Dragon.
The irony of your words. It's almost as if the gods have set upon a pun for my type of life. Anyway, thank you so much.
He says, y'all come back now, you hear?
Make sure that there's a time frame in which that poor person can get away from their desk. I'm assuming that they try to avoid water so that they don't have to pee.
I mean, he's free to leave whenever he wants.
I hate this place. Your grove is wonderful. Thank you for the medication. I have to go now.
Yeah. Y'all have fun. See you soon.
Zogle, while we leave, so can I ask you a quick favor?
If it's any of this, no, you can't have any.
No, I don't want it for me. It's I know you got this for Oriana, right? But it would be like you would give me it would be huge for me if you could give me that thing so I could give it to her.
No. And the reason is because I owe this to her.
Okay, well, can we do 50-50 then?
I'll let you know that you helped. I'll let her
Okay.
know that you helped with it.
Thanks. That's good.
Okay.
Just ask one of the 3 most powerful people in the area for some weed. It's fine.
Hey, it's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be some greater weed if it's coming from him, alright?
It better
So
be.
if we needed the illusionist, we don't need the illusionist anymore.
She's gonna be out.
She did. She like DED a did.
So you guys exit your towers and meet up.
Yo, nature guy's gonna help us if we can get
Oh,
the
what color
totally
is,
real magic person to help.
What's Brilliant's hair?
Oh, Balerion has he'd have like a brown, but it's so dirty that it looks kind of black.
It's Ratchet, girl. It's Ratchet. Druids aren't known for their combs, okay? All right. Your totally real magic person just needs to get on board, and then we're going to have a big meeting, and we can probably fix this. But I have a jar for Oriana, and we have to get down to the village.
Perfect. We need to go and
Yep, we need to go and discuss some things with the folks in the village. There's a gambit I'd like to make based on the deal we'd made with the Cleric in there.
Well, look at us. We can split the party and not die. I'm amazed.
Yep, noticeably not dead.
Don't worry, Azure. I had a plan to get us out. Unfortunately, I think the other 2 would have been perishing in that situation. Whoopsies.
Don't worry. I thought exactly the same.
Glad to see you guys are confident in us.
Funny that the 2 most persuasive people had the escape plans, and the people who were not.
We're like,
not.
ah!
Nice. Cool. So
Yeah.
you guys are planning to head back to the sanctuary.
The village, kind of, whatever that is.
Cool. Well, I think that we are going to call it for the week then. Next week we'll potentially see how this plays out.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch someone get so high.
Nice. Cool.
also just like I'm gonna have such a fun time one. Like,
Okay, the echo in your room is peeking your mic out.
oh, I mean I am in the living
Yeah,
dining
The
area.
living space is very echoey, and it's peeking your mic
All
out.
the walls are empty, so
Mm.
there's nothing for it to bounce off of, or there's everything for it to bounce off of. It's gonna be fun, John
Yeah.
Barillion. Like it's like, oh man, of course, like the 2 most people get the fucking most laid back one, and we get the super uptight. I couldn't give a shit, but fine. You're like, if you really give a shit that much, prove it to me, and then maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Azure's super laid back.
But like, I know what I'm doing. Like, he knows what he's doing, but he never had a plan. He never have a plan. Never has a plan.
Fair.
Yeah,
So,
I would also like it to be noted that this is the first time Azure and Zogle did their own things together, and Azure is not dead.
Good. Zogle is progressing.
friendship points.
Dee-dee-dee.
Nice. Cool. So if we want to do outros, then we're good to go.
I'll do your outros. And instead of shouting Razz out at all, I'm just going to post the link to your YouTube.
Tubube.
Tubube.
Okay, I'll go first because I got the longest spiel. Hi! We're kinda in my arc right now. I play Kyr'nes, the Dragonborn Sorcerer, who we're learning a whole bunch about. My name is Glacier Nester. I do both Twitch and YouTube alternately, depending on when I have time to make content. Mondays, I posted a completely original video to YouTube. It's a first impression series called Frozen Thunderfinds, where I play the first 30 minutes of a game and I go, I like that, or didn't like that. And we're in the middle of the third season right now. It's a good time. And as for Twitch, I do a variety game, it's just variety. It's not necessarily inherently games. I do variety on Wednesday nights. Right now we're about to finish Oracle of Ages, and Fridays is my flagship show called Paper Cuts, where I read a public domain book. Right now we're finishing up Paradise Lost, and after this week we'll probably be moving on to something a little spookier, suit the season. Probably Dracula, honestly, because I didn't finish Frankenstein on my own in time. Anyway, that's my whole spiel. That's Glacier_Nester, except for where underscores aren't allowed. And then it's just Glacier Space Nester, but if you search Glacier_Nester, you're probably going to find me anyway. Check it out. It's good stuff.
Cool.
I guess I'll go. Matt posted the link to the YouTube where the VODs are going to be put up. So far only one is up. 2 will probably be going up within the next couple of days once I'm done studying my ass off.
I feel.
I have an art blog which I'll probably post whenever I do drawings of these lovely tiefling folks. We'll probably go there eventually. It's art.com. I have a TikTok where I just goof around. It's fun. It's just Razz. It's dumb. Check it out if you really feel like it. But other than that,
I think it's a good time.
it.
Cool.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm SleepingOwl. I play Azure the Bard. I've been starting to stream again.
Yes.
Here and there. I've been streaming some art because I'm doing my portfolio to apply for a new job. So that's fun, and I'm working on the blueberry grapes kind of fantasy eleganza extravaganza. So yeah, catch me there, and we'll have a good time.
Beautiful.
Ooh, the Call of Cthulhu game's coming out. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm Kid Infinite. I stream on Twitch sometimes. I have a weekly talk show that I've just started doing with iBasley called Good Morning Twitch. We pretend it's morning and have a cheesy morning show. We have a weather girl, and it's fantastic. I really love doing that. So yeah, if you like talk about cute boys, if you like top 5 lists, or if you like just general SJW bullshit, then follow me.
Okay, everybody's shouted out, which is the great news. This is the Matthatter Plays channel for everybody that's been hosted over. Obviously, there was some issues with audio today, but that's not usually the problem, so we'll make sure to get that fixed by next week. Otherwise, I'm kind of starting to try to get some of the art community together and showcase different Zogles, different D&D characters, whatever's being drawn out there. Otherwise, we stream here 40 hours a week. Variety, Sunday being the only real controlled day, because that's when I come here for the Dungeons and Dragons. I play our angsty, know-it-all, little bit annoying, little bit awesome, Druid named Zogle, who's kind of a jackass, but also a sweetheart.
Yeah,
He
he's
tries.
sweet one.
He's trying real hard, boys and girls. He's trying. He's just not good at it. But otherwise, yeah, that's basically it. I'm obviously make sure to go check out the YouTube if you want to go see more of everybody here. Go check out all of these different channels and follow them all. Owl is great if you are looking for some entertainment. Kid Infinite's great if you need some advice. And Glacier is fantastic if you need something to read and if you need something to do with the technologies. So, do it up. Otherwise, okay, I
I'm
love
just
you,
handy for
bye.
VODs.
She's a great art. I would give more, but unfortunately, I don't have a place to send you.
Yeah, not so much.
Also, there's Soul Calibur 6 coming out in
Yes.
5 days. I'll be streaming the shit out of that. So
Nice. I'm gonna have to drop in for that. I love me some Soul
Ooh,
Calibur. Oh, the whip sword. Ooh.
Hula hoops, hula hoops.
Alright, you guys. I'm gonna
Alright.
go and do homework and shit.
I'm gonna
And
go
I'll
pass
catch
out. I have work in the morning. Bye.
Bye.
send me dick pics.
Lesta. Lena Naista. Hylia, bless me.